Welcome to the Lounge, everyone. My name is Toby Roydell, and if you think that genetic mutations are something completely different than when humans get their hands into genetical modifications, you will be surprised. Since the beginning of the Neolithic revolution, the time since humans settle and grow plants, we want to grow as many plants and as much crops as possible so that we don't starve. Soon, humans had the dream to increase the output, not only by growing more plants, which is one way of achieving that, but to get more out of one plant. But surprisingly, humanity didn't have to wait for the 20th century to achieve something like this. Many people today still believe that genetical modification is a completely new thing and scientific and laboratories and stuff like that, but are very surprised when being told the following two things. Mutations within the genetical code are a natural form of genetic modification. In nature, it's called survival of the fittest. There are many plants who can, through mutations, adapt rather easily to a changing surrounding. And animals can do that too, in order to raise their chances of survival through the help of mutations. So throwing out the mindset of genetic modifications as being something evil, bad, and unhealthy is a very good start. Humans used these natural occurring genetic modifications throughout the millennia. All the fruits and vegetables we eat today went through a plethora of mutations and therefore genetic modification without the intervention of any scientist or laboratory at all. In reality, mutations and natural genetic modification is way less scary than it might sound when you hear it the first time. Let's take the apple tree. Let's say you grow a few apple trees and or have many apple trees. And in some season you realize, there's one apple tree which grows way bigger apples. Nice. So what's the natural thing that you would do? Of course, you only plant seeds from that tree for the following season. One day you realize these apples taste way better, and you continue to plant those seeds. One day you realize, these apples are now bigger, they taste better, and these ones, they don't rot as fast as the others. And so the cycle continues and continues. This is basically what happened. So in general, genetic alteration or modification is a natural process that today can be enhanced and continued in a laboratory setting. This, however, is where many concerns arise. I'm not going to glorify genetic modification in any way, shape or form, because I see the point of what could go wrong if the technology and the capabilities of this technology reaches the wrong hands and gets into very dirty hands and what they could do with it and what harm they could cause with it. Of course, I will not dismiss the critics on that point. If I'm very cautious and I hold myself back a little bit when it comes to this topic, it maybe is because I don't know enough. And I think this is an issue for many people. A normal citizen just doesn't really know all too much about this whole stuff, but isn't informed about it either, is therefore afraid of unknown consequences and is ultimately against it. I cannot simply take a carrot and change its size so that it is 10 times bigger than the original carrot. I would sacrifice so much in the process, probably lose all the vitamins and its taste in the process, if it is even physically possible. It would come at a cost. That's what I'm trying to say. And losing all the vitamins and healthy parts and components is not worth it just to make it 10 times bigger. But making it 20% bigger instead of 10 times sounds way more reasonable. And whether something can even be enhanced in size in the first place heavily depends on the genes of said vegetable or fruit. If a scientist would come to me and say, hey, look at this carrot. I show you the gene that changes its size and how we could make it 20% bigger. This could happen naturally over time, but if I use these specific methods, it would just go more quickly. Then the carrot will undergo many tests, and it will be checked if it has the same amount of or even more vitamins, or if it comes with a risk, or if it is just as healthy as before. And here, that's the carrot. Have a taste. I will have a bite too. If a scientist would approach me that way and try to follow me through the process and make it understandable to me, it would make it much more reliable and much more believable, and I didn't need to have that many fears of risks and consequences anymore. But this kind of communication doesn't really exist. Just for clarification, of course, I'm oversimplifying the process of genetic modification heavily and drastically. But I want to focus on the communication part here, because that is really bad. I mean, have you seen things like this written on packaging of food before? No genetic modification, not genetically modified food, whatever, stuff like that. I've seen it a lot of times before. To use stuff like that as a marketing slogan is really bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, it works, because instilling fear into your customers by telling them that genetic modification is just outright bad, evil, and unhealthy makes you sell more of your own products. But that doesn't help anyone. If, let's say in the future, we find out that that genetic modification in whatever shape or form is the only way to solve certain problems that we face, but everybody hates it and fears it, that doesn't benefit anyone. Genetically modified food is a difficult topic, because like many other topics, it's quite emotionally charged. And there still are many things that are very unclear as of now. And we all know food is such a close to heart topic for most people. But simply putting it off as evil, bad, and unhealthy is not really a constructive way of going about it. And probably we in the future even need it, and there might not be a way around it. I hope you enjoyed watching and listening to today's video. If you did and had a few new thoughts here and there, that would make my day. With that being said, my name is Toby Roydell, and I will see you again next time here in my lounge.